Okay, so in this video, let us discuss AdCoder Beginner Contest 170. Problem A, 5 variables. So we have 5 variables and one of the variable is assigned a value 0. We have to print which variable has been assigned. So it's a very straightforward, simple question. So 5 variables are the input. For example, these are the 5 variables and one of them has been assigned value 0. We need to print which one. So need to print the index, and indexing is from 1. So just store all the variables in an array and find out which one is 0 and print the index. So first one was very simple. I think everyone has solved it. Second problem, this is also straightforward only. There are some animals. Each of them is either a crane with 2 legs or turtle with 4 legs. We know that there are X animals in total and Y legs in total. So we need to determine whether there is a valid combination of cranes and turtles such that total number of cranes and turtles together will be X and total number of legs of all the cranes and all the turtles combined together will be Y. For example, 3 and 8, there can be 2 cranes and 1 turtle because 1 turtle will have 4 legs and 2 cranes, each of them have each of them have 2. So 2 into 2, 4, and turtle has 4 legs. So 4 plus 4, 8. That is what has been explained here also. And similarly, this one, there is only one animal but 2 legs. So it is possible that turtles can be 0, number of turtles can be 0, or number of cranes also can be 0. So for example, if it was 1 and 4, then also it's a valid combination because there can be 1 turtle because 1 turtle has 4 legs. So just run a loop, 2 for loops, I equal to 0. You can do it in O of n time also. Simply because of the constraints, I just quickly did it in O of n square, but it's okay. So outer for loop I represents number of turtles. Inner for loop j represents outer for loop I represents number of cranes. Inner for loop j represents number of turtles. And this is the condition. First of all, I plus j should be x because there are totally how many x animals. And 2 into I plus 4 into j should be y. Because each turtle has 2 legs, each crane has 2 legs and each turtle has 4 legs. So 2 into I plus 4 into j should be y and I plus j should be x. If both these conditions are true, we'll print yes. If the condition is false, flag will still be 0 only, so we'll print no. So problem B also is easy only. Problem C, we are given an integer x and an integer sequence of length n, p1, p2, pn. So among the integers not contained in the sequence, we need to find the integer nearest to x. And this integer need not be positive. We need to find an integer nearest to x such that absolute difference with x is minimum. And if there are multiple such integers, we need to report the smallest integer. One thing to be careful is it need not be positive. It can be negative or 0 also. But if you look at the constraints, it's very simple, like only 100. And each p of I can take maximum value of 100 only. So what do we do? I just ran a loop from minus 100 to 101. And first of all, I put all the array elements in the set because they have told all the elements are distinct. So just put it in a set and run a loop from 100 to 101, or you can run it from, I think, 0 also. It won't be such a problem. Simply, I just ran it from 100 to 101. Sorry, minus 100 to 101. And then check if I is not present in the set, because we have to find the nearest element to X, which is not present in the set. And after finding out that the element is not present in the set, we need to find the nearest element whose absolute difference is minimum. So just apply the minimum condition, minimum greater than abs of x minus I, then just equate minimum to abs of x minus I and equate I to num. This I represents that element which is nearest to x whose absolute difference with x is minimum, and therefore print the minimum. So this also is a very straightforward. First three were very simple only. And I hope all of you have solved the first three. Let's look at fourth one. Very small statement. Given a number sequence A of length n, find the number of integers I which have the following property. For every j such that I is not equal to j, A of j does not divide A of I. This statement means what? What does it mean by A divides B? That means B mod A is equal to 0. So in this question, we need to find such an element. We need to find elements such that A of I mod A of j is not equal to 0, but for all j not equal to I. For example, let us take this array. Let us consider 3. We can see that 3 is the smallest element. So there is no other element which divides 3. So we should count 3. Let us take 8. Any number bigger than 8 will not divide 8. What about 3? 3 also will not divide 8. So we need to consider 8. 11 is a prime number. So there is no number apart from 11 that will divide 11. And obviously 1, which is not present here. So we need to take 11 also. So this was the question. We need to find all such A of j which does not divide A of I. Does not divide A of I means A of I mod A of j is not equal to 0. So what can we do here? First of all, we'll store all the elements in the array and we shall perform prime factorization. Or rather actually factorization, not even prime. Let's just perform factorization. We don't have to do prime factorization, I'm sorry. Let's do factorization. And if we factorize, and while factorizing any element, if we binary search whether that factor is present in the array, then we can break out. We should not count that. Otherwise, we should count that element. So it was just a question of factorization only. So take the input array, sort it. Why am I sorting? Because I have to use binary search. So for every element A of I am doing factorization. I hope you know how to do factorization. If you don't know, you can Google it in Geeks for Geeks. So I am factorizing. And when I'm factorizing, I need to take care of one condition. Like, for example, when I'm factorizing, suppose I am factorizing 12. Factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So when I'm checking with 12, I should make sure that there are at least two 12s in the array, because I should check for all j not equal to I. So for example, if there is an array like 11, 15, 13, 12, 12, then for 12, there is another element a of j which divides it. So this should not be counted. Similarly, this cannot be counted. But if the array was only this, there is no factor of 12 present in the array. And even though 12 is a factor of itself, count of that is 1 only. And we know that j cannot be I, so we should not count this. When we factorize, if we get the factor as the number itself, we should check how many numbers are present. What I want to say is, when you factorize a number, if you get the factor as the number itself, then if there are two or more such numbers, then you cannot include that number. If the count of the number is 1 only, then you include. If there are two 12, 12 is a factor. So although j not equal to I can consider this 12, right? And when I consider this 12, there is a of j which divides a of I. That is why you have to use upper bound, lower bound. This upper bound, lower bound statement is for this only. When j is equal to I, or if j equal to 1, whatever, if j equal to 1, I am just checking how many such numbers are there. It should not happen that because I got a factor 12 and 12 is divisible by 12, I am checking this number only. I should not check this number. So that is why I've used upper bound. Keep in mind j not equal to I for all j not equal to I. It is a little messy over here. I'm sorry for that. But I hope you understood what I want to say. You have to just keep in mind the two conditions. A of j does not divide a of I, which means a of I mod a of j is not equal to 0, and j not equal to I. So be careful with this. It's simply just factorization using binary search inbuilt function to find out whether that factor is present in the array. And if it is present, if the factor is the number itself and the occurrence of that number is greater than 1, then okay. So you can pause the video and try to understand by yourself. I told it in a hurry, sorry, but I hope you understand. You can rewind the video and check. I have discussed the solution. I hope I could explain to you properly, and thanks for watching. Bye.